Inazuma, probably one of the next big updates after the chasm releases. For months now, we've had Leeway Mondstadt, but there's always been talk about having the next big town, city, Inazuma. The only hints we have of what Inazuma might be like are from stuff we've heard from in-game or characters we've seen via leaks, beta, whatever it may be that are from Inazuma. Now this is all speculation. I obviously do not know exactly when Inazuma is going to release. Though from what I've seen from previous updates on how Mihoho is doing this, I can make a educated guess on what I think Inazuma would release based on previous updates. Now the chasm will probably release in 1.5, that's what everything says, all the rumors say. Plus this would be, by the time 1.5 release, this would be 1.3 and 1.4, we never got updates. So there's two updates right there. We never got a big area update, just Lynching White for Leeway, and then the Windburn event or whatever for Mondstadt. That hasn't started yet at the time of this recording. Now when do I think Inazuma will be released? I don't think it'll be released 1.6 at all. Because that'll be way too soon since we got the chasm. It'll be way too soon. I highly doubt MiHoYo will put it out in 1.6. It's just too soon, and they're always working, one part of the company is always working on Honkai Impact, so I don't highly doubt they have enough resources to make two big updates back to back. I could be wrong, but I highly doubt they'll go and do that kind of thing, because that'd be a lot of work to do in such short time, making another big area, because they're probably working on something like the chasm for a while. But hopefully by 1.5 it'd be finished, and then they can push it out. But having a town, which when you look at it, having a whole Inazuma, it's not going to just be a town. It's going to be a region like probably Leeway and Mondstadt. How big that region is, I don't know. It might be small, it might be big. They had a lot of times to work on Mondstadt and Leeway's regions. At least more than a couple years. So it's hard to tell how big Inazuma's region will be. But it will probably be another region. But from the detailed map that we've seen leaked of all the regions and how big they are, you can kind of safe to assume, you know, how big Inazuma may be. But still, it takes time to make that. So, and it won't be 1.6. 1.6 will probably be the some event then, quality of life changes, etc. Probably not big. Maybe they'll do a chasm event, maybe, but I don't know about that part. Now, I don't. It could be released at 1.7. It could be, but that's stretching it. I think if they did it 1.7, it would only because people have been wanting this town for a while now, this region. And they've only had Leeway and Mondstadt, which I love both of those. I like Mondstadt more, but I like Leeway too. It's a lot more traditional. Like Japanese, Chinese kind of thing. It's a lot more traditional. That's why I like it. But I say that Inazuma will probably be released in 1.8. Personally. Because the way they are going, they're doing about a big area update about every 3 updates. If they do it at 1.7, which is a possibility, it will be released on about July 21st. So that means we would have about another like 4 months, or about 4 months, maybe 3, before we get another town update. Now, if they release it on 1.8, that will be September 1st. And September 1st is almost a year since Ginter's been released. Now, there's a bigger possibility they could do it at 1.8, only because it will be about almost the 1 year anniversary, and that would make it to where that they might release a town every year. But there's 5 towns, there's 5 regions, I should say regions. There's 5 regions. So if they also do it in 1.8, and they do it once a year just about, then that means that this game will be about 5 years worth. Which is possible. Honkai, I think, is going on 3 years. And it's not even done yet. So it would make sense if they release a town every year. That's if they do the 1.8. They could do the 1.7 also, but that would be probably most because people want to see this new region. But they'll probably do it in 1.8, I would assume, just because it'd be about 1 year. It'd be a perfect time to release it, and then, next year they could do it time. There could be a whole new slew. They'll probably add a town in there, and then they give some story quests they could do and add to story content. So I'm going to bet that it's going to be 1.8. I would say 1.7. Just because it will be earlier rather than later, and a lot of people want to see this new town, this new region. But I can see it being released in 1.8 just because it'll be released before the 1 year anniversary of Genshin.
Think you can get away?
But who knows? They could do 1.6. They could not do it. They could do it in 1.5. I highly doubt to do it in 1.5 because they have the chasm there. The chasm is something we don't know what they're going to do next because they had Dragon Spine already on the map, and they had the chasm already on the map, but you couldn't access them yet at the time. So it's possible that once a chasm is revealed on the map, you can actually go to it. That they might show like 2 more regions that they're going to eventually do. But for now, let me know what you think. Do you think it'll be released 1.8, 1.7, or are you thinking that they'll really release it 1.6 to give fans enough content? But if they do 1.6, then that also means that we're probably not going to see any new areas or anything big into 1.9 probably. So let me guys and girls, let me know down in the comments what you think Inazuma will release. It's speculation. I think it'll be released 1.8 because it'd be a perfect time to release it at that time. It'd be just right before the 1 year. It'd be another big town, and if they try to keep this game going for a few years, then that means about 5 years down the road, we'll have the whole map revealed finally. But who knows? I can see him doing it like that because that gives us one big region. But that also means that as of right now, we're only about halfway through. And it'd be about 6 more months before we get a new region. So that's quite a long time to wait for a new region like that. But we'll get the chasm too. So we'll have leeway finished off. Then we'll have... and we already had Monster finish off. And probably what they'll end up doing is they'll probably do extensions to each region if they do it like this. So it's possible what's going to happen. It's hard to tell what's going to happen because he had Mondstadt and Leeway, and they both did specific updates for each area. One was in 1.2 and one was in probably going to be 1.5. I don't know what to do with Inazuma because it's possible that we might see big area updates, regions, even every 3 big updates. Or they might do it where there'll be 2 extensions to Inazuma. 2 different sections that branch off to add more to the map. But anyways, let me guys know in the comments below what you think Inazuma will release. I think probably 1.8. But it could be 1.7. I'm edging towards that a little bit, but 1.8 would be a good time to release it, personally. So let me know in the comments below what update you think it will release. And I also think that we'll probably see the Ayaka amount in too. We might see her earlier because people want her. But I also think that we might see her more in 1.8 only because she's part of Inazuma. It will make sense. Either that or they have her as a banner before then, but you don't get to see her like do a story into Inazuma, and where you might have to actually go there with her. So who knows? You could do anything. But if you really look, they're kind of predictable on how they do their things. They're a little predictable on how you can tell when certain things are going to release. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see y'all next time.